everyone, I have been asked to do this henna hand picture from Meine Reise Durch Asien by Rita Berman. So I thought I would make a start on it today. I have done a little bit of practice on skin to sort of help me with sort of showing you really. Now I have had to think about how to approach this picture, and we might only actually do just the hand, not the whole page, because it's the hand I think that the person who requested needed the help with. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I've been practicing skin, both a hand, I've done one from Henna and also faces and things. It's been quite fun. I'm not 100% confident, but I'm going to have a go. Now I've been using Crayola Colours of the World and Polychromos, and I've actually found Polychromos I'm going to use. I know they work on Rita's paper. I haven't tried the Colours of the World on Rita's paper. They're quite hard and you need to layer them up a lot. So I figured I would use the polys. I'm a bit more familiar with them and I have tried them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour the hand in a pale skin colour, which I realise that often this henna is often done on beautiful darker skin. It's not something I've practiced colouring, so I'm going to do it my sort of colour-ish, you know, not really completely. And then for the actual henna design, I'm going to use this pen. I think this is quite a henna looking colour. I don't know if it will look like it when it comes out. This is a Castle Arts gel pen. They don't have a name or number. I don't even know if you get exactly the same colours in every box because I've only ever had one. But my idea is to colour all over it and then use this. Now if you don't have the gel pen, you can of course just leave the black patterning if you want, or you could colour the patterns in if you want to do colours, but of course henna wouldn't normally be coloured. So I just thought I would warn you as to what I'm going to do in case you have a different idea for the page. So that is how I'm going to approach it. So let's actually get going, shall we? I'm going to come in so the hand, we can just see the hand. What I have been tending to do with skin tones is start with my lightest colour, do it all over. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the light flesh from the Polychromos, which is also called hang on, beige red. Okay, and I'm going to colour the whole of the hand in this to start with, just to get me going really, and it'll give us a good starting layer of colour. Now as I said, I would normally expect I mean, you see henna on all sorts of skin. My brother-in-law does henna, and he'll, you know, he did some for my husband, just kind of quite work out what's going on here. And so, you know, obviously it works, but you know, I'm just doing what I'm familiar with and what I've practiced really. And I am looking forward to trying different skin tones. And I always think dark skin is far more beautiful, but colouring it is something else. And the fact that I've got a hand here I can copy helps me a little bit. But I will attempt all sorts of things. In fact, I did think that a good way to start skin was to do a face in, I can't see, my hair's in my face, there we go. Do a face in sort of blue or green or something like that, so you can just concentrate on the actual shading and shadows rather than thinking about the colour, because there's sort of almost two steps, isn't there? You need to get the colour right, which I'm not that good at, but you need to get the sort of, oh, that is a piece of jewellery, isn't it? And these are probably are these rings? No, I can colour that in, it's okay. Yeah, just getting the shade and shadows right is one thing, and then getting the colour right is another. So there's almost two steps to skin tone, because you need to make it look sort of real in a way so it's recognisable. But if you do it blue, it's fine because it's just fantasy, it doesn't matter. Now we have got bracelets here, so I'm going to be a little more careful in what I'm doing. Now the patterning is very intricate, which is why I thought I would just go over it with a pen. My pen work isn't that accurate, well, none of my colouring is that accurate, so it could end up looking a little bit messy. But talking of pens, I just want to talk you through this. There's obviously a gel pen that I've picked, and the reasoning is that it will sit on top of the pencil. A gel pen or a sort of acrylic paint pen will do that, but you can't marker like an alcohol marker, which will go through the page, or a water-based marker would not necessarily show up, because although what we're colouring is light, you know, the skin tone, the black print, it's a light coloured sort of water-based marker wouldn't show up on top of black. You're probably aware of that anyway. So if you are going to use a pen, you're going to have to pick one that sits on that will cover the black print. So that's something to bear in mind. But as I say, you could just totally ignore it and just... Now it's a bit darker down here than up here at the moment. I'm just going to even it out just a little bit, and then we can think about some shade and shadow. Now I can't put my hand in that position. It's quite difficult. That's very awkward, isn't it? And we can have a quick look at the fingers where the shade, there's a shadow going right across there, can you see there? So we need a shadow going sort of under here, and that hand's in the... I can't do that. I don't know why I can't put my hand like that. So in between the fingers we need a bit of shadow. Now on my hand, if you look, the shadow is quite dark. It's not skin colour, it's grey or almost black. But what I'm going to do is start off with just a darker skin tone and work from there, just because I can build my confidence a little bit, if that makes sense. I also notice with skin often it's a little bit darker on the edges, particularly under here. It's darker there, it catches the light on the top, but even there it looks darker here because that bit's round the corner, that bit's catching the light. So just having a little think as I look at my hand. Now with the arm part, let's start with that. I find that easier. Here's my arm. You can see there's a little dark bit on each side. This one's more so than that side just because of the way the lamp is hitting it from that angle, and it's lighter here. And if I do it that way, you can see that where the light is here, you can see that my arm is rounded and more three-dimensional because we've got the light here. So that's what I'm going to do with this bit of arm. So I'm going to make it darker on the edges, and I'm going to darken it. Sorry, I've got the medium flesh, which is called Coral. Okay, so I'm going to darken it on each side like this, and then just bring that colour in towards the middle. So we've got I'm going to make it even, as if the light is exactly, it's quite red, isn't it? So as if the light is exactly central. I just find that easier. You don't have to do it that way. So I'm just sort of fading it as I'm going towards the centre, so we've got a bit of a lighter bit, and hopefully that will start to make the arm look a bit more 3D. Until we do all of it, it might look a little odd. Now this bracelet, I'm just looking. Here we've got a line of the arm, so we should really colour there. On that side we don't have one. So I'm just going to grab my lighter colour, the light flesh, or the what's it called? Beige red, and just fill in this bit under here, which I forgot first, with the lighter skin tone colour that I'm using. Or just put an imaginary line in there, and then I can go back, whoops, using my pencil with the medium one, and come in here. So I hope everyone's well. I was excited this morning to find out that there was a new podcast for me to listen to. I've been listening to Cynthia Kensington, and she's a little podcaster. She's not one of these big famous ones, but she, I can't remember where I listened to her podcast on. I think it might have been Spotify. And she's a wellness coach type person, you know, whatever you want to call it. And I actually found out about her from doing her Pilates. She does Pilates classes. I'm actually going to do one today because I've been doing a bit of yoga and I'm finding it really hard, to be honest. It was a beginner's class and it was so fast. I found that I wasn't getting time to hold the poses before I had to move, and I felt like my form wasn't very good. So I decided to, I'm going to go along the bottom here, to go back to doing a bit of Pilates because it's a bit slower. You repeat the movement several times, so it gives you a chance to sort of know where you're at, really, you know. Now that's definitely should have not been coloured in. I'm going to try and erase it. Oops. And what I would do is when I colour that, I'll have to do it quite dark so that, because my colour would have stained the paper. And I'm sorry if you copied me wrongly. My eraser has a rubber. It's quite cool. It's a cool one. Oh, I nearly picked up my pen then. I'm not ready for that yet. Now I'm thinking with the finger, let's have a look at my finger here. It's very much darker here. Can you see, like, bottom half, well, a bit less there. The tip is dark too, which is quite interesting. So it's almost a sort of slightly diagonal line of darker colour. And the top is light. So, and the same on this one. So what we're going to do with our fingers is we're going to replicate that. So actually that's the bottom of the finger there. So a little bit there, and then this coming out like that. And then by the time we get to the tip, we're sort of right there. There. Okay. And we'll do the same with this one. So just a little bit of the bottom and then a bit more across. Yes, so she's got a very interesting background story, but that's neither here nor there really, but she has sort of sorted out her own life and then wanted to help others, sort of thing, which I always think is really lovely. And actually you tend to find that people who are in that sort of position tend to have a story behind it. But yes, I'm going to have a go at her Pilates, and she's very sorry, I've got to grab my hanky, very happy and smiley, which is always nice. Positive and encouraging, which is what you need from a teacher, I think, particularly when you're exercising, particularly when I'm exercising. But I was also listening to a podcast yesterday. It was a different person. It was Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's podcast. He's much more of a big old famous podcaster, and I'm just trying to work out what to do here. I'm looking at that. No, that's still quite dark there, look. Whereas this one is only a little bit along the bottom. So we can do the same with this finger. And then this one, not so much so. And he was talking to someone who was saying how when we all started doing Zoom exercise classes and things, how bad it was because we weren't socialising, and it's so important to socialise and this sort of thing. But actually, I wasn't exercising during lockdown, so I think any sort of exercise is better than none. And for me, exercising in public is not something I want to do. I'm not confident enough in being able to do it and keep up. And I know people say, oh, that's not the point, it doesn't matter, you learn together, this is blah, blah, blah. No, just for me, no. I don't want to do it. So I'm not going to do it. So don't make me. So I think just having a go at home is what suits me. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, when you're at a class, you can get direct help if you're doing it wrong and that sort of thing, but no. Okay, I want to go darker in some areas, just a little bit, okay? And then I might darken the lighter areas, if that makes any sense. I think I'm making sense. Now, my next darkest colour is this one, which is the, it's called Dark Flesh, and it is the salmon. But I'm not sure whether it's going to be significantly different, but I'm going to have a go under here, because this, I feel there would be some shadow under here, but actually I don't think the shadow would be pink. So we're getting to these bits where we need to get quite dark. So I'm not sure whether to go with a cinnamon or a red, or whether to actually go with a grey. And I think I might just grab a sepia Now the sepia in the Polychromos is a very browny grey, but it's very dark. It's not like henna type colour, so it shouldn't disturb our henna pattern. So I'm going to actually just put a little bit down there, like proper shadow. I'm not very confident, so it's quite pale, but I don't think it needs to be really dark. And I might just put a tad along these edges, particularly there where we haven't got a line. I think Rita just forgot to draw that one in. There we go. And maybe I'm not going to do there because we want to emphasize this dark bit down here. I'm thinking maybe just a little bit bottom of these fingers, particularly where these two are touching here. There would be more significant shadowing, and here in there. I'm getting a bit more confident now. There we go. Maybe, oh, actually it'd be under here, wouldn't it? There, we haven't done that bit yet. So I think a bit there, and just a little bit there. I'm going to grab the, the medium flesh colour, which was coral, and just put a bit under here where I think I should have perhaps put a little bit more colour in there. There we go. We could put some shadow from this stem, but I'm not going to make it over complicated. Okay, let's sit back and look at that. Now I feel that that might be a little bit light, and I'm thinking that, whoa, did you see it rolled right across? I'm going to use my lightest colour again, but now harder. So we're basically going to darken everything with the light. It doesn't make any sense what I just said, but with the Polychromos, because they layer up, you can put a lighter colour on top of a darker colour and it makes it darker. No, it still makes no sense. I'm just going to put this colour all over. Sometimes it will fade the dark areas, so what I'm talking is nonsense. And you might want to go back over some of those darker areas with your darker pencil again after. Try not to go over that bit of jewellery again. So I'm really just pressing quite hard here, which probably isn't goes against most people's advice for colouring, but I just want to get it all mixed up. I'm anxious to see what it looks like. Anxious not being the right word. Excited to see what it looks like. Impatient, maybe better word. I had a nice relaxing day yesterday. I've decided I'm going to have a day off a week, where I have a day to myself, which is lovely, and just do whatever I want for the whole day. So that never works because there's always washing or cleaning or ironing or cooking or whatever to do for everybody else. But, you know, pretty much much more than normal. So I had the day, I was listening to podcasts, I was just colouring whatever I wanted without doing any buddy colours, although as much as I enjoy them, you know, just choosing my own things as my mood took me, sort of thing, which was fun. What have I done with my, there it is. I feel like we just need, I prefer that now. I don't know if you can see a huge difference, but I'm happy with, feel like we are nearly done. I just want to add a couple of more bits of dark sepia in a few places. I am thinking under the bracelets here. Oh, let me go here. So I coloured about 10 pictures, which was pretty fun. I didn't record anything. I put scheduled a few posts on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, you may guess that I schedule my posts. They always come up at the same time every day. I am not always posting at the same time every day. I just schedule them in advance because some of them go up at midnight. I just spread them through the day a little bit. So because I have a because when my videos go out, I tend not to schedule those. I actually put them up on the posts up, and so I do that. And I think maybe here. So there, I did that, but I coloured loads. Now where the fingers bend, you would think there might be a little bit of shadow if you look here, you know. But because we've got this henna work on here, the lines and things, I think I'm not going to worry about that. I think it might just look a little bit strange. So I think we'll keep it that simple, and then grab our henna colour pen, which I really hope is henna colour. It might be a bit light, but we'll give it a go. I'm just going to start. Now don't do the outside black line, because that's the outside of the hand, and that wouldn't have henna. This isn't covering the black line brilliantly, but I just want to show you what it's going to look like. Now you could do this in black if you don't have this, or just leave it as Rita's drawn it. So intricate, isn't it? But some henna is just amazing. The sort of wedding day henna that I sometimes see pictures of, oh my goodness. I don't think, I mean, I guess it's very meditative, not for the person doing the henna, but for the person having it done, because you've just got to sit there and you've got to wait for it to dry, because I think it sits on the surface of the skin, doesn't it? And you have to wait for it to dry for a long old time. And goodness me, you just have to sit there. I guess you could sit and chatter and, you know, but I suppose it's probably the same as having your nails done. But when you have your nails done, it dries a lot more quickly. And you can usually do a few things with wet nails. Not that I do my nails, as you will know. There we go. You can see it, maybe. I don't know how well. You can still see a lot of the black showing through, which I think is okay. So I'm doing these little dots. Now with a pen, you would all know this if you use pens anyway, top to bottom or right to left, depending on if you're left or right handed, so that you don't smudge as you go, which is why I've started at the top of the hand, and I am the smudgiest person. So I have to be really careful. So that's how it's looking. I'm thinking I'm not going to stay on and do all of this and chatter. I'm going to finish the hand, take a photo and put it on as my final picture, because I'm just outlining over black. It's not rocket science, and I will need my voice to make a few more videos. That's the reason I sometimes cut a little bit short, because I want to fit some in today, make some videos, which is great fun, and make some different things for you. And you don't need to watch me do this. So I'm going to go. I will finish the page as well eventually and show you, but I don't think I think it's the hand that was required for this video, not the rest of the page. Is fairly straightforward. You've got flower, got raindrops. The jewellery might be the only bit that's a little trickier. But I've done a lot of jewellery on ivy lately, sparkly gemstones and things. You could use some of those as a guide for that. But as I say, I will finish the henna bit and put a picture of that up, and then eventually I'll probably finish the page later today. I'm in the middle of another page at the moment on my desk, and then I will put a picture up actually on my Facebook. So today at midnight our time, you'll see the finished picture of this, although clocks be changing soon. Probably not quite yet, and then it gets all confusing with times. But anyway, so that's that. So thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful. I still feel like I'm a bit of a novice, but I feel like the results I get look reasonable. There are people who probably do it much better than me, but I did get asked to do one, so I have been practicing for you, and that's what I've done. I have also been asked for a face one, which takes a lot more confidence and practice. I haven't practiced enough yet, but I will, and I will do one at some point, but I'm not going to do it until I'm ready. But yes, thank you for watching. I hope you have a really, really lovely day, and happy colouring.